right in the kisser.
You're the devil, are you? Right, have a look at this. Ooh, SMSL SU-1. Now, I made a video on this little DAC here, even smaller DAC, the FX Audio FX03. Now, I was quite impressed with this little DAC. You know, for 50 quid, it sounded pretty good, relative to the price, of course. Then someone in the comments mentioned this SMSL SU-1. It's like a really good budget DAC. So I thought, now I can kind of, it's in my price range, okay? I think is it £79, 80 quid. I can afford to buy that, right? You know, some people do write in my comment section sometimes, can you review the new Macintosh, please? I'm like, what? You think I got 5 or 10 grand to spare to spend on a ramp just for a review? You're having a laugh, ain't you? And I doubt very much Macintosh will ever send me an amplifier to review. So, you know, if you've got ideas about things you want me to review, then please, by all means, put them in the comment section. But you've got to understand that I've only got a very small budget, okay? So I have to go out and sing for my food.
Any spare change, Governor? Any spare change? Spare change for a cup of tea?
Anyway, right, let's get it out of the box and see what we've got. Oh! Right, so as you've seen on the unboxing, you've got the power switch there, it's in the front here, and it's a long press to turn it on, long press to turn it off, short presses to go through your sources. The only gripe I've got, and it's a teeny gripe really, it's not really that bad, is that the RCA inputs are not color coordinated, you know, so they're all black, look. So it's all the same. The coaxial looks the same as the RCAs. Now, I much prefer to have it like that, white and red. Just easier to distinguish left and right. We all know what red and white is. Most leads are red and white, or have a red and white tip on it, or some ring on it, or whatever. So it's much easier to have that when you're leaning on the back to try and put something in, and it's red and white. It makes it a bit easier. That's my only gripe. It's a small gripe, but pain in the neck. But once it's in there, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you get it right the first time. Now, how does it flipping sound? Right, well, what I decided to do was put it up against not just the FX03, but also the Topping D50III. So you've got 50 quid DAC, which was flipping 40 a few days ago. Ooh, right, an 80 quid DAC, okay? And the £230 DAC. Now, to be fair, right, is that the Topping, this is sporting 2 ESS DACs in there, right? You've also got Bluetooth, aptX HD and LDAC in it. You've got balanced outputs on it as well, okay? You've got a screen on it. You've got filters on it. There's also an EQ, but the EQ can only be used via USB. You can't use it via coaxial and optical. So you are limited in the use of EQ, but if it's connected to your PC, you can use it via the USB. So you're getting a lot more for your money, but sound-wise, how do they all sound against each other? You've got a teeny weeny, a teeny, and a small, okay? So which one sounds best out of all of them? Well, I've done a little sound test. I have been giving them a good listening to. I've been, you know, testing them all up with different tracks and whatever. And Also as well is the SMSL has AKM DAC. Hang on. So, right, so this has got an AK4493S, where these are VSS DACs in them. Both got ESS DACs in them. Now, everything I've used over the last few years has got ESS DACs in them. And it's probably because there was an AKM DAC shortage because of the fire back in 2020. I did buy a CD player, Marantz CD player, CD 6007 when it come out. And that was supposed to have an AKM DAC in it, but it was an ESS DAC. To my dismay, really, because Marantz didn't mention that they changed the DACs in them. They were still advertising the AKM DACs on their sites and whatever, but they had changed it over. They had to, which is fair enough, but they should have said something. But here we are. So this will be the first time that I've, tried out an AKM DAC. So first of all, before I go any further, have a listen to my sound test. So I want to know what you think. Have a listen to this. So, what do you reckon? Not a lot of difference, is there? I mean, I know you're listening over YouTube and there's only one track and there's no voices on it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But I've been doing a lot of listening to these, trying to, A-B them and stuff. And I got to say, the differences are very subtle. It's not night and day at all. Considering the difference in price. Like I said, you are getting a lot more for your money with the Topping. But for me, I would say that the FX03 is third place. But only just. It is a photo finish. Literally by your nose, right? Then I would say, between these two, I preferred the sound. This is crazy and controversial. I actually prefer the sound of the SMSL. Not because it's particularly better sounding than the Topping, right? I just think it's a little bit warmer sounding. And we're talking very subtle differences here. Very subtle, okay? But I thought the SMSL DAC was a little bit warmer. Just a little bit. I think I just preferred the sound of it. Especially with my Sivga headphones. Can I ever pronounce that? Sivga. There we are, right? And I thought, maybe the Topping was maybe a bit more revealing, maybe, but I preferred the warmer sound of the SMSL. Now, some other reviewers have said it has a bit of sibilance in the top end. I didn't hear it, not at all. Didn't hear it at all. No sibilance for me, but there we are. Could be difference in equipment, whatever, but I didn't hear any sibilance. Now, this begs the question, doesn't it? Right? Like, if you was to look at measurements now. The Topping would absolutely, measurement-wise, the Topping would smash these two to bits, probably. I think the SMSL measures pretty well, but nowhere near as well as the Topping D50III. If you go on Audio Science Review, you'll see this Topping measures really well. It's got very well reviewed. But I prefer the sound of the SMSL. Now, what's that about? So, even though measurements are important, and they really are, right? Especially when you're designing DACs and speakers and amps, of course their measurements are right, but these are also important as well. Everyone's got different tastes, so and this could be a bit of an issue because I really believe that manufacturers are now chasing measurements. So they're more interested in how things measure than how they sound. Now you would think they go hand in hand, wouldn't you? But not in this case, not for me. So they know that there's a lot of review sites out there now and people are really keen on measurements. Look how well this measures. Look how well that measures. This measures so much better than that one. You know, I've seen a lot of arguments going over manufacturers kicking off at reviewers when reviewers say their measurements are bad and stuff. So I think manufacturers are getting a bit obsessed with how well their equipment measures rather than how it sounds. I don't know. Am I talking out of my a-hole? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like we need to have these, you know, these are important. Everyone's got different tastes. Everyone has different hearing. So measurements aren't the be-all and end-all. That's all I'm saying, right? I don't want manufacturers to be chasing just measurements. I don't want their equipment just to measure well and then sound crap. Okay? Anyway, maybe too clinical. But that's my rant. So, what can I say? Well, at the end of the day, this SMSL SU-1 is a cracking little DAC. Look, but so is this FX03. This is £50, was 40. Ooh. 2 days ago it was 40 quid, now it's 50, right? So it depends on what you want. If you want to go, if you're really tight on your budget, you won't go far wrong with this FX03. This is pretty decent. But obviously the SMSL is giving you a little bit more with some extra connections. You've got your optical and coaxial as well. And I do think it sounds, again, it's not that it's better, I think it's just a little bit warmer sounding for me. I prefer the sound of it. Now, the SMSL DAC does support MQA, although MQA is pretty much no more. I think Tidal now are getting rid of all their, I think this month actually, are getting rid of all their MQA tracks and replacing them with FLAC files. So it's pretty much defunct. It does support MQA, but pointless really. Anyway, that's come to the end of the video. Hope you liked it. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Sort it out. And if you're going to have a look at my other social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, get over there and follow me over there, please. You'll be doing me a massive favour. The more presence I have on social media, the more likely I am to get companies sending me stuff to review. Everyone's a winner. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.